Hi Leo, my ascendant brothers and sisters, lovely to have you. It's Raphael.rey from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. So, Lunar Eclipse in Aquarius specials. Forewarned is forearmed, right? So before we start, I would like to bless these cards, these notes and the messages that come through with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance. And I pray that the messages that do come through are ultimately clear and concise and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So, the lunar eclipse is happening in Aquarius. Lunar eclipse happening in Aquarius, sorry, Leo, sun sign Leo. Lots and lots going on with this event. I mean, and it's going to be really intense for all of us. All of our emotions are going to be heightened. All of our emotions are going to be really close to the surface. So it's really important to try and remember that it's not just going to be you that's going through this, it will be everybody. And if you can keep that in mind, I believe it will keep the kindness flowing. So the lunar eclipse, in stark contrast to the solar eclipse, we've already had one. And we've got this one that's coming up on the 27th of July, and there'll be another on the 11th of August in Leo on the 11th of August. So it's worth mentioning that a solar eclipse is about a beginning. It brings something into our lives. Whereas in stark contrast, the lunar eclipse is about an ending. It's about a culmination. It's about something that, you know, we've already put the efforts in and we now get the rewards from, but it is a time of closings. Now, when the lunar eclipse is happening in Aquarius, this is culmination energy, like I said. On top of that, it's conjunct the Mars retrograde. Mars wants to move forward. Mars is projectile. Mars is assertive. It's energy and passion and drive and all of those things that keep us moving forward. When it goes retrograde, Mars itself is unhappy. So it kind of passes the buck, really, and it brings that energy onto us. And what tends to happen is that energy, instead of going and flowing outward, it tends to internalize itself. It makes us more thoughtful, more strategic and more precise. Those are the good things that I like to mention about Mars retrograde. Okay, yes, fine, it can make us more irritable. It can see us a bit more frustrated because things aren't moving as fast as we'd like, but it allows us to be precise and strategic. It allows us that. It really gives us that ability so that we can make a conscious decision about the steps that we're about to take or the moves that we're about to make. And as if that as energy wasn't enough on its own, we've got the South Node there as well, which is about karmic release. It's about truly letting something go. When the South Node is around, it reminds us that in a specific area, this is about what we're letting go in this lifetime. And it takes about 19 to 20 years actually for the South Node to come back to it, or to get to, you know, your sign. So it's not an event that happens very often in our lives. So this is really asking you what karmic release, what is no longer serving, and more importantly, what you've paid your karmic debt towards. You know, this is about what you're releasing now, what you're letting go. And because of this, you know, all of these energies sort of grouped together, I kind of believe it's going to give us the chance to be really eliminative. It will, you know, really enable us, because Mars rules surgeons, sharp things, you know, lasers, a chance to cut something out, to cut something off and really make it a finite decision to leave behind in our past, you know, ending, culmination. So your relationships and especially your friendship ties are about to go through a bit of a purging. And I say this because the lunar eclipse working her mojo and is conjunct Mars. This is going to see you very vocal about what you feel, very vocal about what your needs are, how they're not being met, or where they might even be being ignored in your relationship ties. You know, in the seventh house where this is happening for you, this is where we find our partner. This is where we find our marriage partner, our boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife. It sees us, you know, looking at, you know, it could even be people that we live with or people that we work with. It's all of those kind of ties. Now, and I'll say this as well, because it's, you know, the square that's happening to Uranus, which is happening in your is it? Yeah, this is happening. Sorry, I'm quite a little bit confused there. I kind of feel that this is going to be about your friendships. You know, your friends are the family that you choose. They're the people that we tie ourselves to by conscious choice. And because of the culminating energies here, some of this might be, you know, might be coming to light, or not to light as, you know, because it's an eclipse. And it could see some of this stuff ending and ending really quickly, or, you know, you making a decision that shocks you and everybody else around you. You know, for some of you, this could be the point, this could be the tipping point. I'm just going to be honest with you, because it is in your 7th. If your relationship has been going through a tumultuous period and it just keeps kind of going through that pattern of, you know, getting so good and then just falling down, and then getting so good and then falling down, this could be the point where you finally decide to make the break and say, look, you know what, enough, I don't want to be in this situation anymore. You know, it could see your partner making that same decision as well. And you know, for any relationship that survives this eclipse is one that's truly meant to survive. I believe that. If it doesn't, it's one that, you know, and by conscious choice, you may well say, look, you know what, I can't and I won't do this anymore. It's no good for me, it's no good for you, and I'm going to honour both of us enough to let this situation go. You know, and that could be very surprising to you and everybody else. As I said, yeah, emotions are heightened at this time. So watch what you say what you mean, and mean what you say. Be precise, Mars retrograde, you know, in the 7th house. If you are going to say something about your partner, to your partner, or about your relationship, be sure that it's not just coming from a purely reactive emotional space, because that stuff's going to be heightened and it's going to be really close to the surface. So the potential to say something that you don't necessarily mean is definitely there. Also as well, the other thing, yeah, with the 7th is sometimes what is happening outside of us, or what is happening around us, or how we feel about a certain person treating us, can actually be a projection. And this is one of the things, it's going to be really important now to be conscious of your emotions, be conscious of what you truly feel. What is my stuff? What is your stuff? And to really think about that, you know, and be honest with yourself about what it is. And finally, it's worth mentioning, because it's about you and your ego and your true self and your money. Venus is having a little semi-square with the Sun, and that's asking you to look at your self-worth and value, and to hold firm to your guns when it comes to rewards, payments and compensations that you receive for what it is that you do. And that's it. I mean, you know, Venus is kind of a harmonious energy anyway, but it will definitely see you asking yourself, because of that, you know, that little semi-square energy that's going on there, it will definitely see you asking the question, you know, am I really getting what I'm worth? And more importantly, you know, am I projecting an air of what I'm not worth? You know, it's a question that you definitely, you know, I would say to ask yourself. But culminations, endings, conscious decisions to let things go, conscious decisions to end something, to really move past the experience that you're having now in favour. You know, this is eliminative for a reason. It gives you a chance to clear the decks, so that what comes forward next, or what you choose to plant next, especially at the next eclipse that happens in your 1st house if you're an Aries ascendant, that happens in your sun sign if you're an Aries, is going to give you a chance to really lay some seeds that are truly blessed and have the best chance of sprouting some amazing things. But you've got to do the work. So let's see what your message is through the tarot. You get the Hanged Man. Interesting, because the Hanged Man's been quite active for you guys all year. And you know, when I see the Hanged Man, I always say to people, it's about becoming enlightened, but it's about the process of enlightenment. It's about accepting the situation that you're in, understanding the situation, therefore, by accepting it. Once you've accepted it and understood it, the wisdom starts to come. And once you can start to put that wisdom into practice, that's when you move into the realm of enlightenment. And sometimes the best way to get what you want is to make a finite decision, you know. And sometimes, you know, I've very often said with this card, you know, the best way to get what you want is to do nothing. But actually, under this energy, it's not going to be possible. You know, we'll all have too much energy, and the Mars energy internalized is going to exacerbate that. The other tagline for the Hanged Man card is about sacrifice, conscious decision to let something go now in favor of what you can have later on. I wish you an abundance of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance itself. If you haven't already, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the channel. If you are already a continued subscriber, thank you so much for all of your continued support. Don't forget to hit the notification button so that you get alerted whenever I post new videos. You can reach me on the links below for personal readings, and there's some other bits there as well. I will see you very soon for more videos. Take care.